there's nothing more than most Floridians detest, especially those who have thriving yards and gardens, than armadillos. Armadillos can be very destructive. It's not because they're intending to be, it's just that their mere method of survival, which is to dig for worms and grubs, kind of requires them to destroy flower beds and vegetable gardens and things like that if those are not, sectioned off well enough to prevent them from being able to enter. The other is that for those who like having nice manicured yards and things, they can be potentially problematic. They do like to dig these up. Now, they're not as bad as they were in the past. I've worked on this home before when they've had a bit of a problem, but he's calling me because he's having it again. So you'll notice things like this dug up, these areas here. You'll notice these little divots that get dug up in the yards, and these are signs that they are trying to dig around looking for food. It's pretty typical. But today we're going to try to knock down the population a little bit and try to help them out. Now, the big thing is you need to figure out exactly where they're coming from. And he doesn't have any burrows around his home. So what we're going to basically be doing is looking at this over here. All the thick vegetation on this side tends to be where he sees them coming out of. So when you're dealing with an armadillo problem, a couple of different ways to go about this. You can set trail traps in some of the areas. You'll notice certain areas that are beat down. You'll find little kind of tunnel ways going through the vegetation. When you see those breaks, you can get a trap in those areas, but that doesn't always necessarily guarantee anything. You got a good shot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to get. So what we end up having to do often is actually make a fence line with individual breaks, and you'll have a trap in there. So it actually, as the armadillos come out of the vegetation, they will hit that fence line and allow you to basically guide them into the trap. So for now, we're going to go ahead and drop these traps in because I'm just kind of on a bit of a time crunch today, but in the next day or so, I'll be bringing out some material to build a fence. You can do it a lot of different ways. You can either use a natural fence like this here, or you can use hardware cloth, wood, any number of things to be able to do that. It makes things simple. It allows you to be more effective in your trapping. So we'll do that in the next day or so, and I'll update this video then. But until then, this is what we're dealing with when it comes to armadillo issues, and we'll follow up here shortly after we have some success. All right, good morning, folks. We're back out here this morning, and the customer called and they said that we got 2 armadillos. So we're gonna get over here and take a look at them and make sure that they're doing okay, get them pulled up and get some traps replaced. So we'll kind of see exactly how they were caught and know what's working and what's not working. So you can see this one right here. We set up guide blocks that enables him, so he climbs right up underneath the fence here, and then he went straight into the trap. That is the most common way of being able to get them caught. But as I talked about yesterday, sometimes putting the traps along these guide trails, and you'll even notice right here would have been a viable place to put one. You'll see how this vegetation is kind of beat down in this area, so they're probably repetitively utilizing that. You see this looks like a bit of an archway coming through here, so that's another good place. So generally placing traps along these pathways. So that's what I did for this guy right here. And so you can see we've got one on this one here. Now I think we're gonna have a better success once we put in a guide fence. But for the start, and just throwing them along some trails, that's not a bad result. So we're gonna continue to get these guys pulled up, get some new traps put down, and probably tomorrow swing by and get in a fence. And I'm sure we'll probably have a little bit more results from after that. So all right, so here is these 2 little fellows who decided to dig up a customer's yard. These are 2 adults here, so I was told that there are some young ones that they saw. They are old enough, based upon the description, that they should be able to fend for themselves. I should be able to get them here very, very soon. But now these guys are going to be on their way to to a private piece of property where we will be able to release these guys and let them start over. Hopefully they will choose to stay away from other people's residences and private yards. That's always the goal. We wish these guys the best, and hopefully a new start for these guys.